I think the benchmarking also points out is really helpful in showing some areas for software and SaaS companies where companies may not be as strong as they could be, as some of the market leaders are. And a couple of areas to point out there. Certainly one thing is the whole question about churn rates. All of our data comes from companies themselves. And a lot of companies, their churn rates may or may not be as strong as, in the 95 plus range that is talked about in the industry and you see in a lot of blogs and discussions. And I think we're seeing some companies do some really interesting things and become more efficient. I would say over the past 5 to 7 years, churn rates in general that we see have improved. I think companies are being more efficient there. But some companies that maybe aren't as focused in that area don't have as good renewal rates as other companies that are similar to them. And that's something that companies absolutely, everyone knows, I think, in the SaaS industry that, if you don't focus on churn rates, you're throwing away all the effort that you're putting on bringing in new customers. The other area where we definitely see greater efficiencies with some companies and not with others is in hosting expense and in platform development. That's something I think for companies that are getting started today or have been started in the last 5 years or so, there's an incredible wealth of options out there. And there's a balance between making sure that you're very efficient there, but also not being penny wise, pound foolish, and building or starting with an infrastructure that is not scalable, that's cobbling together a lot of different pieces that is going to be very difficult to scale and to grow. Because if there's anything about the SaaS industry, every company that wants to build a big, strong SaaS company needs to build a scalable infrastructure in their product, in their hosting systems, in their sales and marketing, and in their overall administration. Because once things start happening, it's too late to try and fix those kind of things. And you see some companies that have made those kind of investments and some companies that haven't. And, overall, what we see is the companies that are very metrics driven, the companies that are pushing us for numbers and pushing us and very much on top of it are the ones, it's totally anecdotal, but those are the ones that we see growing the fastest. And companies that are not on top of their metrics and the companies that are not understanding what the key performance indicators are, where it's just a bookkeeping process, tend to have slower growth and are going to have more trouble with being scalable.